Welcome to the deep dive. You know, trying to get noticed online these days, it really feels like a sprint, doesn't it? Not exactly a walk in the park.
Oh, absolutely. It's just constant noise.
Especially when you think about Instagram stories. Was it over 500 million people using them every day? That's
Yeah.
a lot of competition for eyeballs.
It really is. A massive amount of content flashing by.
And look, getting seen, getting that engagement, it's tough. If you're actually looking for ways to maybe amplify your efforts across different platforms, you might want to check out a site like rapidboost.net. They offer services for boosting social media profiles.
Right, because in that stream, your story really needs to be the thing that makes someone pause. That thumb-stopping moment.
Exactly, which is why in this deep dive, we're really getting into Instagram filters and effects.
Yeah, the tools everyone has access to, but maybe aren't using quite strategically enough.
That's the idea. Our mission here is pretty straightforward. We want to give you some practical strategies, things you can actually use to make your stories more, well, captivating.
The kind that grab attention, yeah, but also maybe widen your reach and get more people interacting.
Right. We're trying to figure out that secret sauce, you know? What makes some stories just work.
Because sometimes it really does come down to that initial visual appeal, that split-second deciding if someone taps past or stays to watch.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We're going to look at the psychology, what's trending, and just best practices for using these filters and effects effectively.
It's interesting right off the bat to think that filters aren't just decoration. They're tools. They grab attention, sure, but they also kind of tap into emotions, sometimes subtly.
Yeah, the materials we look through really highlight that, like
Yeah.
just the color palette of a filter.
Yeah.
It can change how people feel about the content.
Totally. Think about those warmer tones like you find in, say, the Oslo filter.
hmm
They often bring up feelings of nostalgia, maybe even build a bit of trust. Why do you think that works?
I guess it connects to like comfort, familiarity, things we associate with warmth, maybe.
Exactly. It taps into those deep-seated associations. Now, flip that.
Yeah.
Think about high contrast filters, like Instagram's built-in Clarendon.
Okay, yeah, much punchier.
What feeling does that give off?
Definitely more energy, maybe a little urgent, like pay attention, something's happening here.
Right, precisely. So it's about matching that subtle cue to your message. And, it's not just a feeling. There's data behind the consistency aspect, too.
Oh, right. The stats on keeping your visuals consistent were quite striking, weren't they?
Yeah, the research suggests that sticking to a consistent color scheme, often helped by using the same filter or set of filters, can actually boost engagement. We saw figures up to, what, 24%?
Wow, 24%. That's significant.
It really is. So tying this together, having that cohesive visual look, it's fundamental for brand recognition, whether you're a business or even just building a personal brand. It makes you identifiable.
So it's less about just picking a filter that looks nice today and more about having a plan, a visual strategy.
Definitely. Which leads us nicely into the trends. What kinds of filters are popular right now, and what are they generally used for?
Okay, yeah, let's categorize them.
Well, we can kind of group them. First, you've got what you might call enhancement filters. Think Juno, Lark, maybe Gingham.
The subtle ones.
Exactly. They give a little boost to saturation or brightness, maybe tweak the color slightly. They just make an everyday photo look a bit more polished, more professional, without being dramatic.
Right, just refining what's already there.
Then you have the whole retro and nostalgic category. Filters like Oslo, which we mentioned, or 1977.
Ah, the vintage look. Very popular.
Super popular, especially in areas like fashion, travel, lifestyle content. It taps into that desire for, I don't know, timelessness, sentimentality.
Yeah, it feels classic, maybe a bit romanticized, connects with people.
Precisely. It evokes something. Then, on the other end, you've got the bold and dramatic ones, Clarendon again, or maybe Ludwig.
Okay, these are the ones that really dial things up.
Yeah, they boost contrast, make colors pop. When would these be your go-to, do you think?
Definitely for making a statement. Action shots, maybe? Or a really dramatic landscape or moment you want to emphasize.
Absolutely. You wouldn't use Ludwig for, like, a soft, cozy morning vibe, probably.
Probably not, no.
But what's really telling is seeing how big brands use these. The sources mentioned Glossier, Starbucks. They often stick to very specific filter styles.
Ah, so it becomes part of their brand identity.
Exactly. It reinforces who they are visually. It shows it's a deliberate choice, not just random.
That makes total sense. Visual consistency equals recognition. Okay, so filters are one big piece, but Instagram stories offer more, right? The effects. How do we use those for maximum engagement?
Right. This is where things get even more dynamic, more interactive. And the big one here is augmented reality effects, or AR.
AR, so like the dog ears and sparkles and stuff.
Well, yes, that's part of it, but it's gone way beyond simple overlays now. We're talking interactive 3D objects that look like they're in your room, animated graphics that react to you, even things like quizzes built right into the effect.
Wow, okay, so it's not just passive viewing anymore.
Not at all. They actively invite people to play, to participate, to spend more time with your story.
Can you give some examples? How are people using these more advanced AR features?
Sure. We saw mentions of things like face morph effects, which can be really funny or surprising.
Yeah.
Sparkle and bling effects add that visual flair, but think functionally too. Beauty brands, letting you try on lipstick shades through an AR filter.
Oh, that's clever. Entertainment and utility.
Exactly. And then there was that Gymshark example, the fitness brand.
Yeah.
They made custom AR filters with their branded headbands. Apparently, they got millions of impressions just from people using and sharing those filters.
Okay, so custom AR. That's a serious tool for reach. What else? What other effects should we be paying attention to?
Definitely don't sleep on the interactive stickers and animations. Instagram gives you a whole bunch. Polls, questions, the quiz sticker, countdowns, the emoji slider.
Right, the ones that directly ask for input.
Precisely. And why are these so good?
Because they get people involved, right? Turns them from passive watchers into active participants.
Exactly. And every interaction, tapping a poll, answering a question, isn't just engagement, it's also giving you valuable feedback. A travel blogger using this or that to see where their audience wants them to go next, for instance.
Smart, using it for content planning.
And then there are the Add Yours stickers. What's the power there?
Oh, those can really take off. It's like creating a chain reaction, getting everyone to share their own version, community building.
Spot on. They can create these viral threads, massively expanding your visibility. And look, never underestimate simple animated GIFs from Giphy.
Haha, right. For adding some fun.
Or surprise, or even explaining something visually. Animation just naturally grabs the eye, helps messages stick.
So it's about making the story dynamic, interactive on different levels. Okay, let's get super practical. Based on everything, what's our curated list? The best filters, the best effects, and when to use them.
All right, let's nail some down. First up, Clarendon. Keep coming back to it, but that bold contrast, high saturation, just makes things pop.
Good for
Fashion, food, anything you want to look vibrant, think product reveals, action shots, anywhere you need that energy and immediacy.
Got it. Punchy moments.
Next, custom AR filters. We touched on this. Using Spark AR Studio, brands and creators can make their own. The New York Public Library's library card filter was a cool example.
So if you have a logo, a catchphrase.
Yeah. Get your audience using it, sharing it. Great for user-generated content and brand awareness. Turns your audience into advocates.
Clever. Okay, what else?
Oslo. That warm, nostalgic feel. Perfect for personal stuff behind the scenes, diary-style entries, heartfelt messages. Lifestyle brands, family vloggers. Love it for that emotional connection.
For warmth and authenticity. Nice.
Then Lark. Bright, airy, slightly desaturated. Great for outdoors, everyday moments. Gives a fresh, clean, lightly curated feel without being intense.
Like an effortless polish.
Exactly. And we have to mention the AR sparkle effect. It's just visually appealing, adds glamour, highlights things.
Good for beauty, jewelry.
Definitely. Or just marking a special occasion, adding a bit of magic.
Okay.
Then, GIFs and animated text. Don't underestimate these for adding life to static shots. Use expressive GIFs for humor or emphasis, animated text for clear calls to action, or highlighting key info.
Making things dynamic and clear, simple but effective.
And finally, let's include rays and similar film grain effects. They give that dreamy, old-school, slightly faded look.
The atmospheric ones.
Yeah, popular with travel bloggers, artists, people going for mood and authenticity over perfection. That's slightly imperfect, stylish vibe. And remember that Beauty Bakery case study, their custom AR lipstick filter. Huge number of shares, big jump in engagement. It really proves that picking the right effect is about amplifying the story's core emotion, not just trend chasing.
That's a key point. It has to serve the story. Okay, so how do we get even more creative? Can we combine these things?
Oh, absolutely. That's where you can really develop a signature style.
Yeah.
Think about layering for a narrative impact.
Meaning.
Like, start your story with a softer filter, maybe gingham or rays for a calm intro. Then, for the main point or a reveal, switch to something punchier like Clarendon, or add an animation. It guides the viewer's eye and feeling.
Building visual progression, like a mini story arc.
Exactly. Or tell interactive stories by pairing stickers with AR. Imagine a countdown sticker for a launch, maybe layered with a sparkle AR effect to build hype,
Ooh, nice.
followed by a quiz sticker asking about the product. The more the elements flow together and connect, the longer people are likely to stay and interact.
Crafting that seamless, participatory mini narrative.
Yeah. And tying back to consistency, think about brand building through consistent filter choice. Pick one or two filters that really match your brand vibe and use them often.
Creates that recognizable look.
Right, and the data supports it. Later.com found accounts with consistent themes, saw retention rates jump by about 35%.
Wow, okay. Consistency pays off. So, we know the what and the why. Let's wrap with some actionable tips. What can listeners start doing right now?
Okay, first step. Analyze your audience preferences. Dive into your story analytics. What worked before? Which stories got replies, shares, sticker taps? Look for patterns in the visuals or effects used in those successful ones.
Let the data guide you. Makes sense.
Second, test and rotate filters strategically. Don't just use the same one blindly. Think about the mood of each story. Is it lighthearted? Use bright effects, GIFs. More serious, maybe a classic subdued filter. Keep a short mental list, maybe 3 5 go-to options for different content types, launches, daily updates, events, personal stuff versus brand stuff.
A flexible toolkit used intentionally.
Exactly. Third, use interactive elements with purpose. Don't just plaster stickers everywhere. Have a goal. Use polls for quick feedback, countdowns for reminders, AR for fun or relatability, but make sure it adds something.
Value over noise. Got it.
Fourth, stay on top of trends. Follow Instagram's creators account. Check the effects tab now and then. See what's new, what's popular. Jumping on a trending AR effect early can sometimes boost your visibility.
Catch the wave.
Fifth, show, don't just tell. Use effects visually. Teasing a product. Maybe use a blur effect, then reveal it with sparkles. Use visuals to enhance the message.
Make it immersive.
And finally, number 6, don't forget accessibility. Add captions if there's talking. Be mindful of effects that might be overwhelming or hard to see. Choose effects that enhance, not distract or exclude.
Really important point. Be inclusive. Okay, so wrapping this all up, what's the main thing people should take away?
I think the big idea is that mastering these filters and effects isn't just about aesthetics. It's a real strategy. It can turn everyday moments into genuinely captivating experiences that drive real engagement.
We've covered a lot. Signature filters, AR possibilities, interactive stickers.
And if you understand the psychology, keep up with trends, and use these tools thoughtfully, you really can boost your reach and make your message land more effectively. Let the story guide the effect, and always check your analytics.
So the challenge is, next time you post a story, think a bit more strategically about the visuals. Experiment with that toolkit Instagram gives you.
Definitely. And maybe leave you with this thought. How can you intentionally layer these filters and effects to build a unique visual language for your story, whether it's personal or for your brand, one that really sticks with your audience? That's something worth exploring.